Hi, good morning. It's Morning Star. This one's called Winds of Change. The music playing, I don't own it. I don't own the rights to it. It's Peter Cater. Take me with you. Let's breathe, letting the energy settle. They're here. Okay, let's get to work. Archangels of love and light, who's willing to cleanse us of our arc field, tapping into God's source energy in the great I am. Breathe. Diving deep into Middle Medagai Earth. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back up into the great I am. Archangels of love and light, who's willing to cleanse us. Thank you. Blue angels, please come. All that is, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Galactica, Lord Drake, Merlin, Saint Germain. Whoa, breathe. Higher Council, Holy Spirit, Lord Jesus, archangels, shamans, Big Eye, Grandmother, Grandfather, and Big Chief. Woo, what a ride. What a ride. Oh my God. So, as I was sitting here, checked, sitting here waiting, and it was like, I was hearing Grandmother's like push the button. I'm like, no, I'm gonna have some more coffee. I'm gonna have another cigarette. Just letting the energy settle, and then they kept saying push the live, push the button. I was like, okay, so I pushed the button. So we're gonna have a talk today. So my last video, I was in Carla in my humanity talking about my past experiences. During that video, I was so immersed in the recesses, in that void of time when your higher self is here and you're like, you've pinged, right? And you're ready to jump, but then, so jumping timelines. Okay, I gotta settle my energy because a lot of information wants to come through. Breathe. So oh man, I still gotta breathe. Give me words, help me. Okay, so your higher self is here, right? And so asking for a new timeline shift, so what happens? We ping, they say, oh, okay, she's wakened up enough to receive this, right? So as that ping went up initially, right, asking for blessings, asking for more, asking for a timeline jump. I think I asked the other day for a 5 timelines jump. Well, so in between that time, as you're soaring up here in your higher self, right? So then what happens? The vacuum is created, right? A void as such. Because they're here, they're taking you here, but then what happens? The vacuum is created, and then they start showing you things. That is stopping Carla, and I'm gonna, I can only talk about myself and my own experience, because I've pinged, higher timeline, let's go, higher timeline, and then it's created this void. All right, so now I'm going to talk about what's happened in the last couple of weeks. So I was sitting here one day and I saw a doorway, and so it looked like a hobbit's hut or something, that was arched in. I opened up the door. And instead of stepping into something like bright light or into, a different, whatever it is, I opened up the door, and what I saw was dirt. It was like, and I saw tree roots. And so I was like, okay, so I went with it, and I walked into the root system, apparently, of my tree. And so as I'm walking, there was this being, this entity, like a goblin or a gremlin. And so when he saw that I saw him and I noticed him, he snarled at me, okay? So I kept walking. I didn't stay to deal with that. I kept walking. And so they were showing me that as I acknowledged it, saw it, then what happened? The archangels, higher council, your guides, your ancestors on the other side, they took care of it, and I walked on. And then as I walked on, it evaporated into ash in a blue way on the wind. Okay, so then I was taken up into my tree, and then on the feed before the last one, when they were showing me, I said like vines and stuff, but it was actually the limbs of the tree growing and expanding out. It was actually tree limbs of my tree growing, right? But I'm going to go back to the soil. I'm going to go back to the root system. So here we are once again, asked for the highest timeline, right? So here I am expecting, I'm going to jump off here and I'm going to fly and I'm going to just go straight into this energy, right? No. They took me into my root system. What the hell happened during that? It was like a 3-4 week process. Sorry, there are people doing yard work around the area. I hope you can hear me clearly. There's a spiritual significance for everything that goes on in your life, everything that is a part of your home, the energy of that. I'm going to wait to see if he's coming closer, if he's going to go away. Grandmother says keep going. So I hope you can hear me. Okay, so what happened? I'll pull you in a little bit closer just so you can, if you can't hear me. Yep, they're getting closer. We'll just sit and wait. Clearing out the energy, cutting out the weeds, trimming up the bushes. So I've gone through hell the last 3 weeks. Literally hell. I literally felt like I was dying. I literally felt like I was dying. Oh, they're there. There's a reason why this is happening. We're going to be clearing energy, and so they're clearing energy right now. Blowing it all away. I tapped the button when I was supposed to, and this is happening for a reason. Just holding space. All right, some blue energy just came around. White pearlescence energy coming down. Got some beautiful red energy coming in from the side. And golden stars actually coming up from below. All right, so I went through hell the last 3 weeks. I felt like I was literally dying. I literally felt like, my body, my energy, it was as if the life source was being sucked out of me. Out of me. There's still energy is still pouring in. This is all happening for a reason. Whoa, download coming in hard and fast. All right. It all happens for a reason. Okay, so I was like laying on my sofa watching TV or something, and I was like, last night I heard, go to bed. You don't feel good. You need to go to bed. You need to go rest. You're not feeling well. You know that and I was like hearing all of this like negative, and I was like, and so I'd been feeling this the last couple of weeks, like I'm gonna fucking die. Like I'm going to die. I'm like, like going to bed thinking, okay, well, I hope I'm here in the morning, because that was how intense the energy was. Breathe. So your physical house represents your spiritual house. Have you ever walked into a room and all of a sudden you can't breathe? Like something in your chest, like you can't take a breath? What's going on? So that's what happened. So I've been dealing with energy in my master bedroom that I just moved into within the last month. Wonder why. So the woman that lived here before me got cancer 7 times. Healed. So I had another friend over one day, and we walked through the master before I walked in, and she's like, there's something standing right here. And so did the energy work? Okay. All right. So then when I would walk into my master bedroom, and the energy cleared in there. And then when I first moved into the master, they said light a candle and keep it lit at all times in my master bath. So I did. And I had a bowl of Himalayan salt in a bowl also sitting there. And I actually put the bowl in there first before they instructed me to put a candle. In my life, they have told me I have to have a candle lit at all times. I go to bed at night, there's a candle lit on this table, and I say to them before I go to sleep, all right, seal it up. And I let them deal with the lit candle. I let them deal with it. And I wake up and I come back out, the candle is still lit. Now sometimes overnight the candle is burned down, and then I'll immediately go light another candle. But there is a reason for this. There is a reason for this. Light on a candle represents infinite intelligence, infinite light source energy, giving life. A candle's flame is the highest form, besides looking at the sun, of looking at God's source energy in the great I am, and the candle flame being lit. So I always have to have a candle lit. So they instructed me to put a candle into my master bedroom, master bath especially, the master bath. So last night I was on the sofa and I'm hearing this voice. And I would come back, I was watching a show, and I'd come back out and I'd have a cigarette. And I was walking into the house the last time last night, and I literally felt energy coming in from the top. I could feel it, the unction of the energy kind of coming in and pushing me from the upper, like coming in that way. And then it was really interesting, because as I was walking to the entry of my house off the lanai, the wind kicked up, I literally felt like my whole human body was like almost like a matrix, like I was getting bigger and smaller, and kind of like my human body was like changing, like I could feel the energy change as I walked in, and I felt that energy pushing me. So when I walked into my master bedroom to go to sleep, I literally felt then, as I walked past the threshold of the master door, I felt energy coming in like this, and it pushed me. And when I walked into my master bedroom, I literally, in spirit, walked down 2 steps. What? It's all one level. What happened? What happened? And then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, you're right. There's energy that's still stuck, and it's not on the same level as that here. Like when I go over to my crystal grid, And I asked him, can I bring my crystals? Because I'll sometimes go over and stand in front of where my crystal grids are, and I'll like literally put my hands out. Oh yeah, I can feel energy even right now, just coming up, like surging up my feet, up my legs, all the way up to my crown chakra, right? And I was like, can I take that inside? And they're like, no, because this is the main generator. This is the main source of energy that's surging and sending power into my home, my life, physically, spiritually, on all of it. So as I walked in there, I went down 2 steps. So I went into my master bath, and the energy did not feel good. And I have cleansed that. I have saged it. Holy water, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit on the windows. So I was standing in there, and I was walking to different areas of my master bath. And I walked over to where the shower. Alexa, play Peter Cater, Take Me With You on repeat. So as I walked over to the shower, interesting that we just got interrupted as I'm talking about this. It's all energy, guys. I was like, ooh, my heart started, ooh. I started breathing fast, and it was kind of like, kind of gripped in fear, right? Gripped in fear. And I walked over to this one area where the end of the master bath is. There's a shore wall, and then as you go around the corner, then there's a shower. And the energy did not feel good there. So I immediately went and got spray. And as I was walking around, they showed me there was this praying mantis up in the corner of the ceiling of the corner of where I was feeling real anxiety and fear, and my heart gripped. There was this huge praying mantis with wings like probably 5 feet long. And I saw that thing, and I commanded it to leave my house in the name of Jesus, in the name of Yahshua. And I took authority over that thing, and it flew out immediately. So then I walk back out here, and I get sage to cleanse once again and to seal it up. So then I'm saging, I'm walking through, I had a lot of sage in there, and there was a lot of smoke. And so I started walking through my house once again. The TV, the show I was watching, where I was sitting, and I just was moved and directed by God's source energy in the great I am to move through my house and sage my entire home. And then I went into the bedroom. It had leveled out. I wasn't walking down 2 steps. It had leveled back up. I walked into the bathroom, into that area, walked over to that corner where that praying mantis entity was. It had been cleared. Breathe. It had been cleared. It had been cleared. So now I'm going to go back and talk to you about what I experienced the last 3 weeks in this void, in this darkness, going through the roots of my tree. So during meditation time and listening to different things on YouTube that I was instructed, everything is by, it was like, no, okay, that one, right? So I was taken from, and it was interesting also because it was at Easter time and as the resurrection took place, right? So it is energy, and we celebrate it as humanity, most religions, every Easter. Death on Friday, what happens? He died, right? On the cross, died, and then resurrected on Sunday morning, right? The stone was rolled away, and the angels came. Yahshua, God, in this great I am, came and got his son. Okay, so let's talk about that. Can we talk about that? Okay, so I'm supposed to talk about this first. So over the course of the last 3 weeks, I did a deep dive into my root system. And what did that look like? They were showing me bloodline curses years upon years ago, generations upon generations ago, things that were carried forth, curses on my bloodline, right? And what happened? It manifested greatly in what? The adults that were in my life, causing me harm, causing me such grief, physically, mentally, spiritually. These adults, right? They were manifesting on a full display in an attack against me. Why? Because I was the one. Blue energy's coming in to support this. Thank you. Oh, got higher grid, higher timeline, higher source. Okay, so also, when I pinged one day, I pinged up to the Pleiadians, because that's where I think that's where I originally come from, is the Pleiadians. So I pinged, and then I went to Ashgar Command. I did. I said, I need so much help right now. I pinged to the Pleiadians, and then I pinged to Ashgar Command, and I said, I need help. They're going to kill me. They're trying to physically kill me. So I need help. So I pinged, went there, asked for help. So all of this is taking place, going through, and they were showing me curses on my bloodlines. Curses. So what happened? What has happened? I have had to go back through, cut timelines, cut bloodlines, cut the cords, 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 cut the cords. And then what happens? And then, help. And then the new branches, the new root system was getting energy fed into it from God's source energy and the great I am. That energy from the root system then went up the tree line into the limbs. So I am here to tell you right now, there are entities in your bloodline, there are entities in your bloodlines that were curses that are trying to take you out. So if you have different things, attacks, okay, some light workers will say darkness doesn't exist. Evil doesn't exist. They're lying to you. It does. They exist. There are entities from help, from other universes. I'm not getting exact, maybe the Draconians. There are entities here on the earth that are here to take out the light workers. That is their main source. That is that is their main command, their main decree. Take out the light workers in any way that you can. How is that? They look for our weaknesses. They watch us. They watch us. They might not be able to help. So if you're not guarded and protected and you don't do your work every morning or night and you keep the Metatron's grid, you've got your crystals, you invite in God's source energy and the great I am, you invite in your guides, you invite in your ancestors that are on the other side helping you, the archangels that are helping you, God's source energy and the great I am to help you in your bubble, to keep you at highest light, highest decree, highest echelon. I keep hearing echelon of God's source energy in the great I am. What is that? Life force. Light. Energy. Highest light of Metatron's grid, the energy source. It is as likened to the matrix of that movie. Divine movie. It was on full display to show us exactly what takes place. Breathe. I heard they just told me keep going. All right, so yeah, they exist. Yeah, they have a decree. They've been given an assignment from the darkest energies that you can possibly imagine that are on this earth as everything is playing out on all areas. All areas. Every area, your auric field, your energy, the physicality of what's taking place around you. All of it. All of it. It's played out here. This is all energy. Your physical home is an energy. Let's talk about money. You got money problems? Why? Maybe there was a curse on your bloodline. Somebody cursed your bloodline a long time ago and has stolen from you and robbed you of your finances that you are supposed to come into now. In this timeline, now. I have decreed myself, I'm going after it all. I'm going after it all. Years ago, I would go back through and I'd go back through different timelines and I'd see, and one day I said, okay, and I talked to Lomotrin? No, Lomajin. His name was Lomajin. And I was directing him, I said, I want and I saw a treasure, and I said, you go back through my bloodline and you collect every, and I was using like our financial, penny, dime, quarter, dollar, whatever, hundreds, whatever, thousands. And then I said, to the half pence, collect it all. And so I saw treasure chest upon treasure chest being loaded up with gold and fine jewels across every timeline that had been taken away from me, my timeline, me. So in this energy, in this timeline, I can have it all. I've called it, I've decreed it, I have commanded it. It has to come forth now, for this timeline. So let's go back and let's talk about the curses on your bloodline. Yeah, they exist. Yeah, the shadow work, you're going back as a light being, and you're going back and you're seeing things and you're dissecting. They might show you something, and it's kind of like, okay, something has been shown. In mine, it's like they show me the tree. It could be anything that they show you. I don't like snakes. I don't care if it's Kundalini energy. Do I believe in Kundalini energy? Yes, I do. But the actual physicality, spirituality, of a snake, no. It's a cursed animal. It's a cursed entity. It is. And sometimes when I look back, I see this huge snake. I do every once in a while, and it has been cut all the way from the top to the bottom. It's laid out and it's degenerating. It's died. It's dead. They've killed it, and it's just out there and right at the tree line when it gets into the wild woods. They show me that every once in a while. So, all right. So now where are we going? So I am here to tell you today, as a light worker, a grid worker in this timeline of where we are, I signed up, and so did you, to take it all back. To take it all back. Do you know what Jesus did when he died on the cross? Do you know what he did? You know where he went for those three nights? Do you know where he went? He went into Hades. He went into hell. Now I'm using my verbiage, but I don't care if you're talking through Nordic. I don't care what nationality, what you're talking about. It all has a general overlaying theme. Yahshua, Jesus, went into the pit of hell. And what did he do? He got back all of the keys from all of your timelines, all of your generational curses. He got back all the keys. He took them back. All right. The resurrection took place, right? The stone was rolled away. God came back for his son. Yeah, came back for him. The angel rolled away. So then what happened? Days later, he showed himself to the disciples that were waiting. He showed. And the first time he came back and they were rushing to him and he said, wait, don't touch me yet. He's like, I have not fully transfigured and transfigured into the brightest white light source energy. He was still morphing. He would not allow the disciples to touch him. There is such a spiritual overlay of what happens to us as light workers, as we are being transfigured, transmuted, transformed into highest light. Our highest light. Our highest timeline. Our highest light. Do you want to know what we are becoming? We are becoming, all you have to do is look up in the sky on a sunny day. That big ball of light, that's what we are becoming. And we are holding it in this 3D construct. We are holding it in this 3D construct. For what? Healing, transforming. When you become so empowered, you can walk into a room, and I have noticed this, since 2012. And in listening to different ones, whether it was Joe Dispenza or different ones, when you walk into a room, you have the highest energy in that room. And even though someone might be more elevated than you in a career, in whatever it is, they have to bow. They have to bow. If they are not in their highest light and highest time, and if you walk into a room, you are the highest light. Do you want to know why shit happens in family gatherings? Well, guess what? A light worker just walked into the room, and guess what? Shit, the pot got stirred. This aunt, this uncle, this cousin, this nephew who has an entity, a bloodline curse, yeah, you're talking about light just clashed with the dark. Yeah, and it happens at family functions. Why? Because the curses are still on the bloodline, and you as a light worker, you just crossed in, and war has broken out over a Thanksgiving meal, over an Easter meal, over a Christmas meal. Most of my family worst experiences were at Christmas and different holidays. Why? Because light was warring against darkness. It's like a nuclear bomb went off. So the last 3 weeks, they've tried to take me out. They've tried to kill me. Why? They were trying to find where I was still weak, where I wasn't strong enough, where I didn't totally believe. I had to wake up. Influx of energy. I had to wake up. I had to see. I had to take a look. Who was talking to me? What is it? Something was talking to me. Something was whispering in my ear. You're sick. You're not going to wake up in the morning. You're gonna die. You're not gonna make it through the morning. There was a change last night. I could feel the energy change when I came out during that whole process last night. Because if you would have saw me yesterday afternoon and the day before, I was low. I was so low, and I was like, I felt like I was walking around like a 90-year-old, feeble, frail, old woman. Unbalanced, dropping things, couldn't pick up things. Seriously, I felt all my energy was siphoned and was being siphoned out. And then what happened? They told me. They showed me. I literally felt an angelic being behind me as I was walking into the house. And it was in my upper, right behind my sacral chakra, right behind here, supporting me as I went into the house. And it was right before I went into the master bedroom and into the master bath and dealt with that entity. They were giving me energy to deal with the dark entity that was in my master bath. So now we come full circle. Are you dealing with things? Is something whispering in your mind, whispering in your head? Are your thoughts not of highest light? Some entity might be, I'm going to reframe that. An entity is talking to you. Wake up. Wake up. They're trying to take you out. They're trying to kill you. Why? Because you have a job to do. Your time here on earth is not over. Your best days are ahead of you, but please know, beloveds, please know, children of the light, there is a war taking place. A war against your finances, against your physical health, against your children, against your timeline, against your bloodline. They're going after it all. They're trying to take it all. They're trying to take us out. But thankfully, I wonder how many people, yeah, they said don't go there. I woke up. I got infused with power again. I feel younger today. I feel like I'm back to I've been asking them before that time, and even over the space of the last 3 weeks, I told them, I said, take me back 10 years to that energy of where I was 10 years ago. I was, oh man, I was, to me, 10 years ago, that was the highest of I had, that I felt beauty. I felt beautiful. I felt courageous. I felt just emblazoned. I felt empowered. Now, was my feminine and my masculine at that time 10 years ago unbalanced? Was I sleeping with a lot of young hot studs? Yeah, I was. I mean, I always come on here. I tell you the blatant ass fucking truth about what my life was. Yeah, you're damn right. Yeah, you're damn right. I did. And then what happened over the course of the last 10 years? I got woken up. I got taken higher. Do you know what happens sexually when you have sex with someone else? That's not to create like a partner that is in a holy alliance with God's synergy and the great I am, that you and this other person on the highest timeline, in your highest light. So do you know what happens when you have sex with someone who's down here? Well, guess what? When you have sex, there's a transference of energy. You just collected all their demons. How many men did I sleep with that I collected energy that was not mine? Yeah. There's been a lot of clearing out. There's been a lot of cord cutting taking place in the last 10 years. Cutting the cords. They would visually, sometimes I would sit there and one face after another, and I was like, oh my God, bam, bam, cut the cords, next, bam, bam, cut the cords, and feeling the energy of influx, cutting the cords, this person, cutting the cords. Oh my God, why does this one keep coming around every 6 months, every year? Why? And I let him in, and I had sex with him. Whoa, huh? There was a contract, but then guess what? I'm an awakened being. Hello. Okay, yeah, guess what happens? I took authority and I cut the cords. There was one that has tried to keep coming around every 6 months and a year over the last 12 years. Every once in a while, he'll come back around. And finally, I woke up. And it wasn't worth it anymore. It did not matter how much my body was crying out for physical touch to have that experience. The day came and I was like, nope, never again. Never, ever, ever again. Cutting the cords for the final time. Breathe. And it's finished. No more. They cannot one more time come back and suck any energy out of me or put any energy into me. I am no longer allowing it ever again. The next one is meeting me either on a higher level or on the same level coming in. Higher or same line. Not someone that I have to train up. Not someone that I have to in any way. No. Matching me or higher. Matching me in my energy signature, or higher. Or higher. Or higher. Or higher. Now I will tell you this. Because I'm not married, I took my vows serious when I was married to the children's father. I did, until at the end of it when, you're separated and I'm gone on, he's gone on, he's found someone else, I found somebody else, it was just paper at that time, but we'd gone on. Okay, there will be people, if you're single, or maybe if, I don't know, I don't want to get all technical, but there are different ones that you need to actually have sex with that are actually going to help you. They're actually going to put something into your spirit that you agreed with on the other side before you came down here in physical form, that has said, okay, I'm going to meet up with you in 2026 and whatever, end the year, and we're going to meet and we're going to have sex, and there's going to be a transference of energy that each one of us need to continue on our journey. Now they might stay and you might then journey together. You might journey together and go on. But then others might come and then it's okay. You've met, you've walked together for a while, and then it's time to part. It's okay. It's all right. We, humanity, the religious spirit, the religiosity, keeps us in boxes, wants to keep us in boxes, wants to confine us. But we are here to enjoy it all. The buffet has been set before us. Energy coming in blue, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Coming in white light energy, thank you. I've got Saint Germain coming in purple energy, thank you. As I'm sharing all of this, thank you for the energy influx. Thank you. And the alignment with the masculine and feminine energies inside my own self. Okay, so the religiosity, they want to keep us in boxes. They want us to keep us confined. They want us to, whether you grew up in church or you didn't grow up in church, it does not effing matter. And, okay, I will just say it. It does not fucking matter. It doesn't matter. We are light beings. We are down here for a purpose. We signed up. Some of us are still with our sword. Some of us are learning. We're still learning. We're still battling. We haven't come into our full authority of holding our scepter, holding the world, and our crown. In higher source, that's where you are seated. But some of us are still learning, and occasionally, I think, am I picking up? I don't know. Let's work on that some more. Grandmother, help? No? Nope, I'm seated in my authority. I was seated in authority when I walked into my master bedroom last night. I'm seated in my authority. That's why I can go in. That's why I can go into, because the spiritual energy as such is that you were seated here. So when I walked in there, I was seated here, right? On the highest timeline, I'm seated in my authority. So when I walked in there, the entity showed itself. What did it have to do? It had to leave. It had to leave. It had to leave. Anything else? Okay, so I'm going to share something with you that I haven't shared with you guys with yet. So 2 months ago during massages, I get massages not only for physicality but also to release emotion. It also helps in releasing things that your body, not only physically, aurically, but it releases energy. It keeps the flow going on all of this stuff. I don't have all of the verbiage and all of the accurate words to say, but it is an energy flow. So I was having a hard time in one area of my back, right behind here. The massage therapist that I was having, and she was awakened, and she kept, every time she touched this one area, she couldn't get the energy released in this one area. And she'd been working on me for about a month. I'm gonna light a cigarette. Help as I share this. So I have to wait. I have to wait for the light to come, even more light to come in to support, because what I'm going to talk about needs light. Metatron's grid protection. So as you watch this, please know that you're protected. And if you're watching this and you've stayed on it for this long, there's a reason why. Okay? You need to hear this. All right? Because some of you are being attacked, and you need to know why. So 2 months ago, this massage handed me a card, and they said, you need to go see this person. And I was like, okay. So I went there to this person's home, and she was, I think it didn't matter her age, but she was an older woman, petite, a little itty bitty thing. I don't know if she's from Ireland, but I was like 2 feet taller than her. Beautiful home. She had angels everywhere, and candles lit, and she's a healer. So she went through her thing that she does to tap into the energy of what I came there to see her with. So as she went to the end of it, do I say the whole thing or do I just talk about? Okay, I guess I'm supposed to talk about this, and I'm already been on here for 48 minutes, so bear with. And if you're here, you're here, and you're supposed to hear this story. She started bringing things out, and as she was bringing things out, because she knew something was in my energy field, she started bringing out things, and they were triggering me. Like, I wanted to run out of the room. I wanted to run. There was something in me that it was like, I wanted to get the hell out of that room. Breathe. So she brought out a suit. It was a suit, like a tuxedo, but it was like a red suit with a black shirt. There's something about that suit. Ooh, it triggered me. I was afraid. No. And she brought out other things that it was like, oh, God damn. I wanted to flee. I wanted to run. So she took me through this process. There was a stronghold, and this thing manifested in the room. And what was supposed to be an hour session ended up being a 4.5-hour exorcism. Because there was a stronghold in my family line that was connected with sexual abuse, pornography. Yeah, I'm supposed to say it. Children being hurt on all levels. I'll just say that. Alcohol, drugs. I'm talking the darkest things that you could possibly imagine. And it was a stronghold in my family line. So what was supposed to be an hour-long 4.5 hours. That woman, that little itty bitty woman, took a hold of my head and she commanded that thing. I flew back onto the ground up against this wall and onto I was seated, and I'm sitting there and I am crying out to God. And I felt the energy of God, source energy, and I was crying out in my highest, and I got to them and I was calling him Puppy. Puppy, 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 come. Puppy, 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 come. Puppy, 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 help. 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 And I was released from this stronghold that had caused such harm in my family line. Generation upon generation upon generation upon generation. I was sent here to cancel all of it in my bloodline. I was the one that said, no, enough. It's time. You're done. Forces of darkness, you're done. I had to curse that thing out. She told me, take authority of this thing and curse it. She said, curse it, and she said, rebuke it, send it out. And I did, and it was a 4.5 hour process. And as I am on the ground, and as I felt the release of it, then the room changed. She started bringing in other things. And it was like, it's, if I would look at it now, I understand what she was doing it. But at the time when I was watching all of this take place, I was like, this is so out of body experience, right? So she brings in, at the end of this thing, she brings in this stuffed animal, and it was singing, celebrate good times, come on. Dun, 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 dun. And so an influx of childlike glory filled that room. The glory of God filled that room. And then I was able to finally get up, and I was sitting over there on this bed that she had in this room. And so she started placing all of these beautiful things around me. Beautiful things. And I sat there in childlike newness. And I was born again. And I was refreshed again in childlike wonder. And I left her floating on cloud 9. I had been transformed. I had been delivered. What she did for me, I would have paid millions of dollars to her. Millions. For what took place in the change that took place in my life. And you couldn't pay enough money for what happened in that room in 4.5 hours. It was so precious. It was so beautiful. You talk about rainbow energy. Rainbow energy of the highest light. Saint Germain. They were all there. They were all there. And she was doing it. But they came in. My team came in. They were there the whole time. They were there. My team, my grandmother, the elders, my tribe, they were all there supporting me because they knew. I didn't know when I went to that appointment for an hour, it was going to be a 4.5 hour exorcism. Are you fucking kidding me? And when I left there, I was just like this. I was filled, overflowing. My cup was overflowing with such light, such joy, such transfiguration. The keys of the kingdom, and she had a key, a big key, And she said, take it. And I took this big stuffed key. And she said, here's your key. And I was like a little child, just so happy that I was given the key. I was given the key. To what? To a beautiful, auspicious, wondrous life. So, and in the last 2 months, so what was happening? I was in my highest timeline, right? Being pinged, wanting to go higher. And then from that jumping off, from that exorcism I don't know, I am glowing. I don't know if you can tell the difference from now and then my last feed. I think I even deleted it, but I put it back up because I was in my humanity and I was sharing with you what took place in my childhood. But today, if I could walk on water, I would walk on water. If I could lift up and levitate right now, I would do it because of the transformation that took place, right? So as I was going through the last 3 weeks and as I was being led by God's energy in the great I am, as I was being led by my ancestors, as I was being led and, visions would open up and I went through that door and I walked into that root tree system and what? That thing that was over in the shadows and it was like, and it snarled at me and I kept walking, right? In the night, right? And then it turned to ash, right? I'm different now. There was a cleansing of my root system. They went back and cut the cords. They enabled me to go back, and cut the cords of all the energy. Oh my God, of all of this. Do you not feel this? Breathe and receive. Breathe. I think I'm done talking now. Just breathe and receive. Highest timeline. Highest light. Highest timeline. Highest light. Breathe. You've been given the keys of the kingdom. Go take back what is yours. Take it. They've given it to you. They've given you the keys to unlock everything that is not yet yours. Finances. Go back. Take it all. Take it all back. Take it all back as you're being led. This is my journey. This is my story. This is how they've worked it out in my life. Might not be for you. And it might be exactly what you needed to hear today. God's first energy in the great I am. I pray for you. I pray that you are healed, that you are whole, that you come into your highest timeline now. Oh yeah, release of energy. Had a little hiccup. Anything else? Nope, they've sealed it up into my cylinder. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Keep going. You're gonna make it, kiddos. You're gonna make it. Children of the light, be healed. Be whole. Take ground. Take it all back. They've given you authority. They're gonna help you. Grandmother says, and so it is. Mwah. Peace. Love you. Morning Star. Peace out. Woo. Oh. the glory. And it's all for the glory.